Right then, I can't even remember what episode this is. Episode 5, number 5 of the world according to Ali. It's Monday morning, 8th of February 2016. I was supposed to do this yesterday, but things are a little bit like that, you know, things come up. So yeah. Anyway, let's have a look at the questions, shall we? Oh God. Right, okay. I'll start with this one from Sophie Stevenson. Cheers, Sophie. Would you rather pee a small orange or poo a large watermelon? Include justification, please. Oh, lovely. Right, so I haven't really experimented with this one, so I can't actually speak from personal experience. Plus, I haven't been able to refer information because I don't know anybody. I don't hang around in those circles that also could offer any advice. So this is going to be pure guesswork and assumption. You get put into one of those dilemmas. And you're like, see, really, what I'd sort of realistically say is neither, please. But that's not really in the spirit of this, is it? So, pee a small orange, poo a large watermelon. Okay. So if we think small orange, we're probably thinking like, maybe. Large watermelon, we're talking like what? Good God, yeah. So there's the whole thing of, you know, relative elasticity, but I'm kind of thinking that the watermelon would just cause like mega amounts of permanent damage. But then again, the orange might as well. Oh God, I don't know. Do you know what? Honestly, I'm really stuck because I was kind of like, after I can't say an instant snap decision because of a question like that. I don't think there is one. You're kind of like thinking, well, I value my bum, I value my intestines, I value my bits. You know, I'm like, ugh. But I'll probably go with the orange. Because I think it would cause less damage, which, I'll be perfectly honest, is my primary concern with this question. Damage control. Yeah, damage control. And there might possibly be a thrill out of the orange, whereas I don't think there would be a thrill with the watermelon. That sounds really bad, doesn't it? I'm gonna go with orange in the hope that the damage is less. I could be wrong, but fingers crossed, I will never ever find out. Okay then, question 2. Oh dear, what was question 2? Do you know? Hang on. Question 2. Where are you? There we go. Question 2. Right. Question 2 from Angela Scott. Alien abduction. Are you a believer? Have you ever experienced it? Are you the reason aliens are too scared to make contact with the world? Thanks for that. Right. Alien abduction. Am I a believer? Well, you see, the thing is with this is I'm one for objective markers, right? And I like to see, you know, proof of things, right? And thought I lost my business card there for a sec. Silly man. Yeah, I like objective markers, and there doesn't seem to be any that suggests that anyone has actually ever been kidnapped by an alien. Just crazy people. And if you've been abducted by an alien and I've just called you crazy, then take that for what it's worth. But yeah. Does that mean I don't think aliens exist? Well, no, not really, because while there might not be any objective markers, it's also a bit of a gross assumption to think that it can't happen, right? I mean, you can probably tell then by the way I'm speaking, have I ever experienced it? No. Do I think I've ever experienced it? No. Do I think I've even ever experienced anything remotely like it? No. Do I think I've even ever slightly heard of anything like it? No. So, you know, in the realms of my human experience, which is very limited, no. But at the same time, I can't pretend that, you know, my experience is the be all and end all. So, you know, as for am I the reason aliens don't come? I don't think that's my fault. I think if aliens are out there, the reason they don't come is more likely down to you lot, not me. Because you know what? Aliens want to train. I'm pretty certain of that. And if they're going to train, they're going to come to PTS, right? So yeah, if anything, the gym is kind of proof that aliens ain't hanging about, because if they were, they'd be working out here. So there's my objective marker. There you go. Right, question number 3, final question. From Helen de Bono. Can I ever look forward to a day when I don't wake the morning after a training session and not feel like I've been hit by a train? Now, this is actually like a really good question, because what it comes down to is the shock effect of exercise. And like anything, exposure is the thing that limits shock, and it's you know, dosing, right? So if you do something not very consistently, so like once a week or whatever, then the shock factor remains higher, you know. If you do something, especially when it comes to stuff like this, if you hello, that was Nina coming in, rudely interrupting, although she was very quiet, bless her. With exercise, the general rule of thumb that I've seen is that the shock window is its biggest after 2 weeks, right? So if you're one of them people that trains, you know, and this is actually very specific to the type of thing that you're doing, and this is really worth remembering. It's not just exercise in general, it's the specific activity. So you can be very active on a regular basis with a certain kind of thing, yeah? And if you throw something in like once a month, yeah, then that thing is always going to feel like it wrecks you. Okay, so say like you're someone who just lifts free weights all the time and you go for a run once a month. It's going to wreck you every time, right? If you're someone that runs every day and then lifts weights once a month, the weight is going to wreck you every time. If you're someone that trains chest and shoulders and biceps, yeah, and they train legs once a month, yeah, it's going to wreck you every time. So the shock window, yeah, is something that if you frequent up the dose a bit more, okay, the shock factor is less, okay. Now, one of the other things with that, of course, is that if you then just keep the dose the same, you plateau, alright. So you have to sort of juggle this thing of, you want the body to feel a little bit of shock and stress in order to cause adaptation and progress. So in terms of being hit by a train, you know, that's one of those things where, you know, if you sort of like training once a week is actually enough to make a small amount of progress. Okay, so that small amount of progress means that the shock factor is always there, even though it's not outside of the rough 2-week window. Okay, it's not very frequent, so it's still going to feel like a shock, but also with that once a week you're able to make a little bit of progress, which is also the shock that you're actually after. You don't want the shock from something just being new to the system every time, because your body reacts to that in a different way. So can you feel like not being hit by a train? Well, you could train more often, or you could, you know, sort of maybe think to yourself, is there something else there that's present? You know, a lot of people bang on about stretching and recovery and all that sort of stuff. To be honest with you, a lot of that stuff is massively over.